In fantasy sports, there's this old cliche that no one wants to hear you talk about your team, bro. And for the most part, I agree with that. Let me give you a quick breakdown. The way fantasy football works is at the beginning of the football season, you and a group of your buddies, anywhere from about 6 to like 12 usually, and you'll have one draft at the beginning of the season where you guys each select a number of different players at different positions from each professional football team. And the goal is to accumulate as many points as possible so that you win your week-to-week matchups. And that way, the person that has the most wins at the end of the season, you go into like a playoff format. It'll be like a 4-person tournament usually. And then the winner of that tournament wins the league. The thing is, the draft is a little tricky and you don't always get the players that you want. So in that scenario, the leagues allow trades. The thing with trades is a lot of times, they can be lopsided. And in that scenario, we have vetoes in place. The league can vote to uphold or to veto the trade. So that's kind of what this story is about. This is how the veto rule in our league came to be and why we think it's so important. But there's been unintended consequences.
One player from the league, I guess, had given up on his team, on his league, on his season, and was trading away his best running backs to Cal in exchange for mediocre players, and this guy who was trading away his best players revealed to us in a group chat that he had received sports jerseys in exchange for these players. So there were sort of dealings behind under the table going on, and that not only was that an unbalanced trade, but I mean that's completely that's straight up cheating right there.
So I understand this happened 3 years ago with a player who's not even in the current league. So I get the initial emotion of what's stopping him from doing here? Maybe the fact that guy isn't in this league anymore.
It was this one trade that I did get through, but there was a lot of backlash from the guys who've been in the league for so long. I did a trade with Chris. It was like a 3-player trade from my side to 1 player to his side. Everybody was against it because they thought I was giving up too much, but the reason I made these trades is because it's a strategy. I'm always online. I'm always looking at specific players and if they're worth it to trade. Sell them high. I sold my players high. But it took a lot of fighting because of this issue we had in the past with the veto.
The veto rule in our league in fantasy football is good for the league because what it does is that it prevents unfair trades from being made. I think some trades can be they might be unbalanced, and you can have a great player being traded for a not so great player, but sometimes the two people involved in the trade, one person might not be as savvy as the other, and this prevents us from this prevents one player from taking advantage of the other by having the rest of the league, all the other players in the league, oversee that trade and make sure it's a fair and balanced trade.
I tried to make a trade that, in hindsight, was pretty lopsided for the other side, so I understood the initial vetoes. What really upset me was the fact that after reworking these trades multiple times, and I mean multiple, 8 to 9 times, they were still vetoing it. And it didn't so much become, because the trades were uneven, it started becoming pettiness. And that's where it started to offend me. It's one thing that the trades are unfair, you could give me valid reasons why they're unfair. But if what you're saying is nah, I don't like that trade, then come on, you're just being petty at that point.
I think he was still suffering from what happened 2 years ago, or was it 2, 3 years ago? But because we got somebody who's blessing their relative like with players and stuff like that. It's going on right now, but they're doing it on the low. So a lot of people aren't noticing that. But I started noticing it a couple weeks ago. So I kind of don't like it, but if nobody, I'm a minority. If we don't have the majority, like, vetoing the trades, it doesn't matter.